Well, it's kind of a case of 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. I had talked about putting the engine spray in the front of this week, but I decided against it. Namely because I'm using acrylic paint, and because it's not exactly that warm here, I kind of want the primer to sit and settle down for the next couple of weeks until I get to paint it, and probably again when I do the top coat. But what I did do is I pulled the windscreen out myself without breaking it, which is a freaking miracle. Just used a bit of welding wire, and I also picked out the spot welds on the top of the plenum here. And you wonder why I did that. Well, for a start, I noticed that there was a fair bit of surface looking rust underneath, and I had this crap in the corner here, and I was thinking, no, I wasn't feeling very confident about it, so I knew I'd at least have to replace both of these corners here. The other side's just as bad, and I thought there's got to be something underneath this. This is, once you start digging, you start to find some things, and what I found, just give me a second. What I found, unsurprisingly, a whole lot of crack in this, and just pretty much the same thing on the other side. Kind of not surprised that I found this. I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be this bad, but this isn't as bad as what I've seen people having to repair. I've seen people having to do the entire thing, but at least this I'll be able to make up a few corners, and I should be able to tidy all this. You can see it's also starting to rust around the corner here. This is for the air conditioning or sort of heater system. The air from the atmosphere goes in here and then goes down. So yeah, pretty bad, but it's all fixable. I've got a grinder, I've got some metal, and I've got a welder, so it's all fixable. Probably make each of these ends in a couple of parts. This bit up to here, probably cut here and do it along there, and then do that part to join it up. Top of this, unsurprisingly, it's just as bad, and it's even kind of worse when you look underneath it. Like all this, I'm going to have to go all the way out to here pretty much and replacing this top part. But if you looked at it from the top side, you'd only think it was as bad to here. So sort of another reason why you might as well pull the whole thing off. It was a bit of a pain in the ass going through all the factory spot welds, but it has to be done, and putting it back together will take a bit of time, but it's all got to be done properly. I mean, so many people, well, in the past a lot of people have just sort of done pretty quick jobs to do this, but this will be done properly, and I'll hopefully show you sort of how I go about putting all this back together, how I go about making some patch panels for these corners, because they are kind of complex shapes, so it's not as bad as what it could be. I mean, I am grateful that it's not gone up through the pillar. I mean, if I did that, it'd be even more annoying, because there's a lot of shapes in here. But yeah, this is where we're at. So we're cutting all this out, and replacing it. I mean, like I say, it's not as bad as some people. I've seen people have to unpick this part, the sort of lower plenum part, and then get a donor firewall from somewhere and then put it all back in. But I won't have to go that far. So there you go, fellas. We've got a bit of welding and a bit of grinding for the next couple of videos. Tell me if you want to see anything in particular, otherwise I'll just sort of do these updates. Cheers.